62-year-old Wayne Simmons has been a Fox News terrorism expert for a long time based on his claim that he used to be a CIA agent. Unfortunately, that claim about being a CIA agent was false, and he has now pled guilty to those fraudulent claims in federal court. He appeared on Fox News as an unpaid guest analyst on terrorism dating all the way back to 2002. And most of the charges actually had nothing to do with pretending to have CIA credentials on Fox. He actually got work, right? Government work based on his claims of being a former CIA agent. And a grand jury indicted him back in October for portraying himself as an outside paramilitary special ops officer for the CIA from 1973 to the year 2000. He pled guilty on charges of major fraud against the U.S. government, wire fraud, and also a firearms offense. He faces up to 40 years in prison. Sentencing will not be until mid-July. This guy straight up defrauded the government. He also defrauded Fox News and all of Fox News' viewers. He made all sorts of false statements to get contracts with the State Department, including their Worldwide Protective Services. He also admitted, and this is just amazing, he admitted to defrauding an unidentified woman out of $125,000 in a bogus real estate investment. This is a total crook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, con artist all around. And I don't know how people get away with this stuff. I mean, you hear stories about people getting away with things like this back in the day, like the movie Catch Me If You Can,
right,
based off that guy. I mean, we didn't have the resources we have now back then, yet somehow people are still getting away with this.
How could no one have confirmed that this guy actually wasn't what he said he was? And this brings up the bigger issue of the use of so-called experts in media. There's a lot of academic literature about the use of experts in news media. And if you study the topic, you'll first of all quickly notice that there's a huge gender gap with so-called experts in media. These experts that show up on corporate media are disproportionately male. That's sort of an aside here, kind of an issue topic for a different day. But also, interestingly, there's drastically different dynamics in terms of how these experts come to appear on TV. And very often, the so-called expert or their publicist is pitching their guest to the show. We get pitched these guests all the time. And we often get pitched pretty clearly bogus experts. And we try to be discerning. We'll get pitched non-medical experts to comment on medical topics. And you really have to look, because publicists are good at making it seem like they have the perfect guest to comment on, for example, a medical topic. And we'll read and we'll realize the guest being pitched has zero actual medical expertise. This is just one example.
Yeah, if only the term expert were regulated, right? Unfortunately, like most terms, it is not. So do your research.
Absolutely.